Hey guys, welcome back to the Eyes on Leafs podcast. We're recording right after Thursday night's game against the San Jose Sharks, where the Leafs lost 3-2 in overtime. They carried a 2-1 lead with about a minute and a half left, and form relief, like anyone would expect, John Klingberg ties it, and Wenberg buries it in overtime on a 2-on-1 to end the game.
There were too many
that's where we are.
former Leafs in that game that I knew
I was pointed out, dude.
Messed up was gonna happen.
Liljegren, Klingberg, Reeves. I think that's all
Adam
three.
Gaudette.
Gaudette. Yep, Gaudette. That was four. But I mean, Seb has not moved. I mean, okay, listen, Seb's just really mad right now. But and listen, OEL got hurt. We're gonna save all our discussion about OEL until we're done talking about the full game in it of itself, because I think there's a little bit more of a long-term conversation here that we're going to get into with the Leafs. And, I mean, to be honest with you, I thought they played a pretty good game.
They did.
I did. I thought they played a good game throughout.
There's specific performances that very much upset me today. Like, I
Yeah.
thought overall they were okay, but there were specific performances that just...
Yeah, like, honestly, I think the back half of the third period after OEL went out, I think they kind of start to lose a little bit of a grip on the game. But up until that point, I thought they were the better team throughout. I thought the first period they're a little bit too... They lost too many battles down low behind the goal line in their own end. They were a little too sloppy with the puck, but it wasn't like egregious, and Hildeby kept them in, and they end up going into the intermission up 1-0 after Dakota Joshua scores off of McCabe's slap shot from the point, bounced off Joshua's leg. Willie had a really good shift there, and I thought he had a good game overall as well after a pretty disappointing last stretch of hockey. Going to the intermission up 1-0. Second period, Matthews gets a power play goal. We talked about the power play in our last pod. They would finally get one there, kind of looking, yeah, it was nice to see. And then less than a minute later, I can't remember who scored for San Jose on the first goal there, but they cut the lead down to Orlov. Thank you. Orlov scores on a goal that Hildeby couldn't really do anything about. It was just a really nice shot.
It was a really nice
shoulder.
shot. I watched that goal a couple times back, and even the defense, I don't really like. Everyone seemed to be in good enough position there.
It's just you just tip your cap sometimes. Nice shot, and then Klingberg scores just under a minute and a half left in the third period. And like we said, push it to overtime. Wenberg scores on a goal that looked like it might have been kicked in, and it looked like it might have been offside, and both ended up being legal goals. And so, that's where we are now with the Leafs losing tonight 3-2 in overtime. And just a quick standings check here, or not standings, but just like a look around the league in terms of the games that finished. Tampa won, Ottawa won. Montreal is up 2 goals really late on Pittsburgh, and so they'll probably win. Boston's up in the third period on Winnipeg, but Detroit's losing, and Florida is tied. So I mean, it's kind of a tough night for the Leafs here, even though they got one back, or they got 1 point in the overtime, but it looks like everyone else around them will win tonight. And Buffalo's playing at 10 against Vancouver, so that's probably a win too. So it'll be a tough night in the stands for the Leafs, but I mean, I just want to know, there's like a quick recap on the game and where we're standing. I just want to know your thoughts on the game, guys. Because like I said, I thought they played pretty well up until OEL went down.
Yeah, I thought they had one of those games where it's like, honestly, for the first half of the game, maybe even a little bit more than that, I thought they looked really dominant. Yeah. I thought they looked really tight. They looked like a really well put together team. Something that I've been dying to see from them so far this year. I mean, it's the Leafs, so I shouldn't say this, but it should be no surprise that it comes against a team like San Jose, a little bit less mature.
Well, to be honest,
less experienced.
As you should, though, too, right? Like,
that's
if
what
you're
I'm
a good
saying,
team, you should be you should have some of your best games against a lot of these kinds of, or not best games.
San Jose
but,
honestly isn't even that bad. Right? They're not that
No,
bad.
they're not
They
bad,
have a lot of
but
talent.
Their defense,
I know.
team defense
Yeah,
wise, and you saw that with how
they're
often
young, like you said.
Yeah, you saw that with how often the Leafs were able to hem them in their offensive zone. And I was thinking just before both Leafs goals, the thought that entered my mind was, okay, they're due for one here. They've been dominating for long enough. It's about time they bury one. And I know we talked last episode a lot about they're especially in the Tampa game, just finishing. So the finishing has to get there, and I think I see the same thing tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Like, dude, how many chances?
Nick
did
Robertson in particular,
have
man.
Yeah, how many chances did Nick Robertson have tonight? Like, I'm gonna pull up how many shots he had, but it had to be.
I'm getting sick. Dude, I'm getting sick of Robbo because I thought it was probably his best game of the year, like all-around game of the year. He made good defensive plays. He was in on the forecheck, and he just can't bury it. And like when your specialty as a player is supposed to be goal scoring, and you can't really do much else. If you're gonna get these chances on a plate, put on a plate for you like that, and you can't bury it. And you know what? That's not even that great of a goalie in it either. And Nedeljkovic has not been very good for a while now. And I mean, those were and that doesn't just go for him either. I thought JT was pretty quiet today. As much as I love him, he was quiet. I thought Willie had a good game overall, but I mean, he didn't bury. Although he did kind of create a little bit more, and he had that really nice pass to Matthews
there for a bit.
The two goals were all him, really.
Oh,
like,
Willie, yeah.
I mean,
yeah. On Robertson, I thought
had
him
3 shots, by the way.
Only Robertson.
Who, Robbo?
Roberts, yeah. I thought he would have had way
I thought
more.
they would have
He only
had
had
more.
3 shots, but he was like
I mean,
he was
all over it tonight.
I would love to know. I would not. That's not what I meant to say. What I was gonna say was I really loved Robertson and Cowan together, and I wouldn't mind seeing them getting a little bit more of a run to build some chemistry there because they.
Can I
Sorry.
just bounce an idea off you guys quickly? That Robertson, Cowan, and JT line. I know JT was quiet. Do you think it was because he had to kind of compensate a little bit defensively for the 2 wingers he had? Because we know Robertson isn't the greatest defensive forward, and Cowan's young. I don't know if that was more him trying to be a little bit more tentative, I guess, in the defensive zone and not jumping up into the play as much as he would maybe if he had Willie beside him or if he had McMahon or whoever they've been putting out there. I didn't know if that was part of it because I liked the line, but I thought JT was quiet.
I don't know. I'd have to pay a little closer attention to that. Like, I wonder if it's something maybe with transition because Willie is so good in transition. Maybe it's something to do with that, but I don't know.
Well, Cowan and Robbo both go on the rush a little bit in the game.
Like
they had some rush opportunities.
No, I did notice JT was quiet tonight too, and I wonder if it. I honestly can't remember, but that line reminded me last year when they had, or no, that might have been 2 years ago now when they had. It's funny, Robertson's still in the same place 2 years later, but they had Nyes, Tavares, Robertson as the third line, and I honestly can't remember, but I wonder if it was the same thing back then. You know, maybe
I mean,
got something there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I said, like Sub said, I would have to go back through all those shifts just to, like, watch him individually, just see like the plays he's making or his tendencies there. I just thought maybe it was because when I saw the line come out, I didn't have a problem with him bumping Nylander down. I thought, he's kind of deserved that. He hasn't played that much and really does need a little bit of a kick in the ass sometimes just to get him going again. But when I saw that line, I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, I've liked Cowan. I mean, JT's JT, and Robertson, if you're going to put him anywhere, I'd rather him play in the top 6 than the bottom 6. I think that's been the consensus kind of opinion throughout anyone who watches this team and knows Nick Robertson. So I like that line. I just thought that JT didn't really get it going. And when Robertson's not finishing and Cowan, I just don't think he's really strong enough yet. Like, his shot is kind of, he doesn't have a great shot, and it feels like a muffin a lot. And I just think he needs an off season to really put on some weight here and like get that shot power up a bit. Until then, I just don't think he's much of a threat shooting the puck.
It's ironic you say that. I think there was a moment in the game where there was like a chance in front of the Leafs net and Cowan like knocked the Landry on his ass.
Yeah, no, but that's like we talked about last pod too. Sometimes when you're small, guys don't expect it. You get low to the ice and you can run through a guy. I'm not saying he's not strong. I just don't think his shot power is there yet.
No,
and that is about. Yeah, you gotta get a little bit heavier, lean on that stick a little bit more.
Dude, Ty Dellandrea is so bad at hockey.
That guy was a first round pick.
That guy was highly touted.
He has 26 points in the last 3 years.
Yeah. But anyways, any Hildeby again, really solid game. Can't complain. Can't say any of the 3 goals were on him. The Klingberg goal, any goal from the point as a goalie, I'm like, and then then you see the behind the net or behind the net view, and he just doesn't see it. Like, I mean, he had 5 or 6 bodies right in front of his eyes. So like, if you don't see it, what are you gonna do about it?
I mean,
penalty kill looked good. Special teams looked good too. I thought. the power play was buzzing a little bit there. They got that goal, but even the first power play opportunity that they had, I thought they looked good. They just couldn't put the puck in the net.
That's to the point I was saying. Like, they look dominant, especially on both their power plays, and yeah, they got to finish. And honestly, I wish Austin Matthews would take some more shots, because I think there were 100%. There were a couple times when, and I know that
especially in overtime, dude.
Especially in overtime,
dude. You have to uncork that. You have to shoot.
Like, dude, what happened, dude?
And then,
it's not even that. It's just it's the awareness. Like,
I mentioned last episode that
if you cut through the middle of the ice, it's like if you did that puck poke, you're screwed, and that's what happened. And when you're going through two guys, you're trying to split two guys that are in front of you, behind you. It's like such a low percentage play. Just fire it through the guy's legs and see if you get something. Sorry, Jacob, to interrupt, but
and that was the turnover that led to the goal going the other way, and then he didn't back check hard enough because he was fucking gassed. But anyways, I think I was saying last episode, because of all his injuries, I think there's some worry that his shot isn't what it used to be, and if he's not using it as much, then maybe there's some validity to that. But we'll see in the coming weeks what happens, because I don't know. I just want to see him rip it, because I know he can.
The problem is I don't know if his shot isn't as good as it was before, because he doesn't shoot as much as he did before, and I don't know, and I don't understand the thought process. And like, listen, people are like, oh, the shots are the same because he's not scoring, and I'm like, well, he's not just, like we said last pod, like that one season, the 69 goal season, that's as much as we're gonna get from him. Like, that's just, it's unreasonable to expect anything more or around the same. But I do think there's, like, I don't know, it just feels like he misses the net a lot more often. It just felt like he used to be a little bit more dialed in. The accuracy used to be there a little bit more. And I don't know what that is, but his shot hasn't been the curl and dragging release like it was for the first like 2 or 3 seasons. He hasn't shot the puck like that in a long time. He's changed up his shot multiple times throughout his career, and I just need him to shoot more, because I think if he shoots more, he will score. Like, he looks dangerous. He, like, everything is there for me with Matthews right now. He just doesn't shoot, and I don't know why he's not shooting. He gets into these positions where I'm like, you got it, and he tries to do like a shot pass to the back over to Nyes. He tries. I don't know if he thinks because Mitch isn't there, he has to take over for a little bit of that playmaking too, but he's not shooting the puck as much as he used to.
Like, it's like, yeah, that's interesting if that's the case, where like he feels like he has to compensate for what's missing with Marner, but like that's what Domi's there for too, man. And
exactly.
Nyes has also,
and he's been playing well, man.
Nyes has also shown he can be a pretty adequate playmaker in his own right. Domi's had great chemistry with you as a playmaker in the past. Like, they just got to like get him back to kind of what his roots are, I think. And that's the scoring threat that he can be with his shot, with his nose for just offensive chances and being able to like slip in and out of plays really well and find open space. Like, he's always been great at that. Get him back to his roots at that, instead of being the guy to like set up plays, because you're taking away your best goal scorer's like best asset, and it just makes no sense to me.
Do we want to move on from the game? Or so there was a couple of players you said that you didn't like their game tonight. Do you want to just talk about that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of touched on it. The Matthews in overtime back check there, and like, I get he was out there for like a minute and a half, but if you were tired, there were like 3 separate possession changes for you to switch off the ice.
You're right.
There's no excuse for that, to have that level of back check on a 2-on-1 in overtime. That was not acceptable. And then Simone Benoit, dude.
There it is. Yep.
Benoit has been like a fan favorite pretty much ever since that first year he was here. I think it was the last Keefe year. Fan favorite, like gritty presence, whatever, like kind of like a blue collar player, what a lot of Leaf fans kind of want. But Jesus Christ, man, like tonight was his play all season has kind of been iffy at best. Tonight was a special type of atrocious.
Yeah.
On the disallowed Revo goal, Revo was just sitting there in front of the net. And listen, I get Revo's not a small guy, not easy to move, but Simone Benoit's also not a small guy, also not easy to move, and has built his career off of this kind of play where you're supposed to be physical in front of the net, big hits, stuff like that, right? And he didn't do it on that Revo goal. Revo, Simone Benoit's like kind of like in his way, but like whatever. That goal got disallowed. Maybe you can look past that mistake, but for me personally, I don't want to look past that. That John Klingberg goal, I can't remember who it was. That I think it was Wenberg that came back around after a battle in the corner, I think, with Benoit. Comes back around with Benoit, and he's just standing there in front of Hildeby. And Benoit literally looks to his right, sees Wenberg, does nothing. Literally is standing there doing nothing. And watches the puck whiz right by him and Wenberg, right past Hildeby, because Hildeby can't see the puck, because Wenberg is standing right there blocking his vision to Klingberg.
Yeah.
You it's not just a Benoit like thing. Like, this is supposed to be a team thing where they are supposed to be physical in front of the net. That was Brad Treliving's vision with getting all these big defenders, big like physical defenders that are supposed to help clear the front of the net, right? And this is a player that should be doing that. You've built your career off of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was
and
not
then just
enough...
doesn't do it on that play. And this is overlooking the fact that I don't know if Simone Benoit has ever known how to make a clean zone exit pass his entire career. And again tonight, you watch it, like, he'll make the occasional rush play out of nowhere, but I hate hating on the guy because he has put in good performances for this team. In the playoffs last year, he was spectacular for the most part. But
OT winner against Ottawa in Game 3.
Dude, it's just like the lack of technical skill that's there is actually detrimental sometimes, because he cannot make a clean exit pass, which is what this team needs desperately, which is why Troy Stetcher has somehow made such a big impact. And he just can't do it. And I want to see more of Henrik Thrun. I thought he looked okay tonight. I've wanted to see him all season because I think Benoit's plays trailed off. I think it's time to give Thrun some runaway here, because even with the OEL injury, I don't think Simone Benoit's the guy to keep in this lineup.
Which I'm gonna.
No, I can't. I agree. I think you're right. Benoit was just not enough urgency on a lot of those plays.
Also, the physicality seems like it's had a little bit of a drop off, and I'm not. And like every once in a while, he'll still come up with a big hit, and I'm not asking him to crush guys every day, but like when I liked him, when someone would try to drive wide on him, and it was just literally two hands push him out to the boards and drive him out wide, and that's the physicality I'm asking for.
That's what you need from him, and he hasn't done that all year. No. And it's like, you don't do that. What's your purpose on this lineup?
And now I think we've talked a lot about the game. I want now that the biggest loss, it wasn't the loss in the game for the Leafs. I think it was OEL going down with what looked like a pretty serious lower body injury. And like I can't remember who fell on him. I can't quite remember who fell on. I don't know if you guys remember, but someone falls on his foot.
It was I believe it was Gaudette.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think you're right. It was Gaudette. Yeah, Gaudette falls on his foot. Looks like his foot kind of just caught on the ice, or something happens with his knee. I can't tell. It looked like his foot. It looked like it was gonna be an ankle injury based on the way he fell, and he grabs his knee, and he can't put weight on his leg. And I'm like, oh man. And if it's what I prayed it's not, it very possibly could be the end of the season for OEL.
Well, and what I texted you guys during when that happened, when I saw the replay of it, was that looked just like eerily similar to when Barkov went down in practice in preseason and tore his ACL.
Well, that's what I'm praying it's not, because honestly, we'll
have to wait. I don't want to be like too reactionary to it. Like, he did need help off the ice, and he's probably going to miss some time, but I don't know. I don't want to assume the worst right now. The issue is that he's going to be out the lineup for a bit, and he's been arguably your best defenseman.
Yeah, and I tweeted during the game, and Saturday we got Edmonton coming in who could score at will on you with McDavid and Draisaitl and all the firepower they have there. And I said, just thinking about what the Leafs decor will look like without OEL, And I mean, this is not what I would do. It's what I think they'll do. Riley and Myers, because they've kind of leaned on that pair a lot last season. I mean, it's been brutal this season, but I don't know where else they go. And I just think Riley Myers, McCabe, Stetcher, which has been a good pair. I don't think they break them up. And then Benoit and Thrun, I mean, it's not good enough, man. Not good enough. You got two left-hand shots playing the right side who aren't even really like elite. Not even elite. They're just like replacement level guys.
There's two guys on that D-core that are NHL players, I think.
I'm not even
three.
kidding.
I'd say Riley, McCabe, Stetcher.
Okay, yeah, Stetcher too. But to that point, Stetcher was on waivers this season.
Yeah, well, you're right, and yeah.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. I would rather them just call up like Villeneuve to replace OEL at this point than to see Benoit in this lineup again.
Dude, honestly,
I can't.
No, but my biggest problem is I don't think you can take Benoit with the lineup. If I'm them, I'm sending Myers back to the Marlies, and I'm bringing up Villeneuve to play on the right side.
Honestly, dude, with OEL out, I want Villeneuve up like that. You can't replace what OEL brings to this team, but I think the closest you can get within your own system is probably Villeneuve. He's the next best guy. Yeah. I think I'm surprised they haven't called him up already.
I was reading an article. I was reading an article from Nick Barden on why they haven't called him up yet, and he was talking to Villeneuve, and a lot of it was just like I kind of want to like round out my game a little bit here. Like I think defensively he's had struggles from time to time, but at this point, what option do you have? Because I was building this outline for our pod like earlier today, way like hours before the game even started, so I had an idea of what we were going to go through, and I didn't expect another defensive injury to pop up because like next on my timeline we're going to talk about Tanev because it does not sound good with Tanev. We're going to talk about Mermis, who after taking the hit from Dejan Kalvich does not look good either. And I mean, there's a little bit of an update here from Luke Fox. OEL needs further evaluation. Brandon Carlo had surgery a week ago. He'll be a month. And an update on Chris Stamp to come tomorrow. So...
Okay.
Like
that dude, he might like for Carlo. I think I was a little worried it was going to be much longer than a month.
Well, when they say it could be a month, dude, like I don't know. They say it could be a week or a month with every single guy, and it ends up being the extra couple was longer. Like
2 months.
Yeah. Dude, I'm looking at like Villeneuve might actually be the next best guy. Like I think Villeneuve might be better than Myers.
Dude, you might as well try because how much worse can Villeneuve be than what Myers has given you this season?
The only other two guys on the Marlies right now that like I could like even possibly see being called up are Matt Benning, who I forgot we even still had.
That's
an NHL defenseman not that long ago and was okay.
Yeah.
And then Cade Weber,
who they signed out of college and was
they traded for him. Funnily enough,
if
you remember, they traded for him from Carolina.
They traded this.
I think he signed with Carolina, but they traded for him.
Benning is a right-hand shot, so that
I could maybe see him. Like,
could make sense having right. But when's the last time Benning played an NHL game?
I'm just terrified. Really like Benoit, dude.
Well, you're gonna go with Villeneuve or I'm sorry. Like I completely agree with you on Benoit and his play, but I don't see how you take him out of the lineup right now when you don't have that many more NHL defensemen available to you.
When the better option, when the option is having Myers and someone who has rather never played an NHL game or hasn't played an NHL game in over a year, I think you put Benoit in. Even though
that's what I'm saying.
Dookie.
Because Benoit has been better than Myers, and it's a low bar, but it's just the truth. Like Myers,
put me in.
Dude,
Myers.
Oh my,
Myers has been shocking this season.
Myers was
because he was okay last year. Like he actually.
I was just supposed to say that he was fine. He was fine. Like not bad.
Happened. It's got to be a mental thing right now.
I mean, sometimes you just have like these guys who are depth guys. Sometimes they just use all the games that they have in them for NHL, and it's just kind of get figured out a little bit. And that's what I don't know. It's not a good situation, and the thing that I would kind of want to move on to Tanev because with OEL we could kind of do speculate, and like I said, if it's worst case scenario, then we're kind of I don't know what you do because I wouldn't like I don't know what you do. But Tanev could potentially be out until the end of the regular season. Nick Caprios is reporting it if they decide to go with surgery, and Berube kind of like downplayed the thought of him going for surgery. But I mean, I haven't really seen anything else aside from that. Like
surgery for what? I thought he had concussion issues.
Well, dude. It was the neck. Like when he went down, it was a neck injury in Philly, and I don't know what that could be.
Concussion. Damn.
No, it was a neck injury, and I think.
Oh God.
We'll see with that. I mean, he was on the ice. He was practicing this morning in a no contact jersey. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing at this point, because we're just gonna have to wait and see. Because they said there's probably going to be or possibly going to be an update tomorrow on him. So I guess we'll have to see. Either way, I don't think you're getting Tanev back anytime soon. If you were, then he wouldn't be going for more tests and he wouldn't be in a non-contact jersey. So you're going to have to play a tough stretch of games here. Like they have, and like if you look at this schedule a couple of years ago, you're like, okay, you could probably get through this. But like a lot of these teams are high octane offensive teams that you're going to lean on that decor. And like coming up, you have Edmonton, you have Chicago, you have Washington, Nashville is the light spot, but then you have Dallas, Pittsburgh, they've beaten a lot. Then you have Ottawa, Detroit, and New Jersey, and then Winnipeg. And I don't know if Hellebuck will be back by then. That's New Year's Day game. Like it's a tough. They're right because the problem is with the Leafs right now is like I think they've out. Wool might be coming back sometime soon. I don't think he'll be. Yeah, I don't think he'll be out for that long. But the problem is that I think that they've gotten back to like a good level of play, like acceptable. Like they've been playing pretty well. But when you play so bad to start the season, and they had such an easy schedule, now you're getting Murderers Row, and you have half your decor just not available to you, and this is where you're at now.
They can't. It's like they can't have the injuries be like balanced amongst the lineup. It's like it's either all the forwards were injured, at like in like November, and then now the goaltending's injured, and then now the decor is like all injured. Like the entire right side is gone.
Yep.
The entire right side is gone.
That's another reason why I would bring up Villeneuve, because he's a right-handed shot, and right now you have two lefties playing on the right side, so you might as well just put him in there, and it's probably going to be better.
And you know what? If you're not going to have the quality of defense to uphold, like to withstand what's coming your way, maybe try and lean into the scoring factor a little bit more and get a guy who can just move the puck, which Villeneuve can do. That's like his biggest strength. Even if he's defensively maybe not as adequate, as long as he can like be sub-level okay, better than Philippe Myers or like a better than like Simone Benoit level defense right now, I think like it's good enough to just pass by. Look at what Stetcher's doing. Stetcher's not like exceptional defensively or anything, but he's just simple defensively, makes a good outlet pass, and can kind of move the puck a little bit. That's all you need from a guy like Villeneuve if he's going to come up. So
yeah. I mean, the other thing is that I was just like on Twitter, and I saw someone say, "Oh, well, they're going to have to go make a trade now," and I'm like, I don't think you can. Like, and they're like, "Oh, but like." They're like, oh, Michelli and Yarncrook will probably be moved to get some help. I'm like, well, you're not getting anything. He's like, oh, that's just some money. And I'm like, okay, but you're getting, like, what assets do you have? Like, you're not getting anything. And they're like, well, maybe they just get a seventh defenseman. I'm like, what does a seventh defenseman do?
What does that do? You have like 10 sitting in the minors. Just call one of them up. Why are you like?
Yep. And this team has the organizational depth. Is just when you have 3 starters and one of your depth guys staying hurt, then like what are you supposed to do? That's gonna hurt any organization. You go to Colorado and the same thing happens. Like, and I think that's the biggest issue for me right now. It's just like they're like Mermis is gonna be out for at least a month after, like I said, after that knee hit against Tampa. So great. Like now, your best depth option, like the guy who's been playing the best. Well, whatever. We talked about that last pod, but the guy who's been playing it's upsetting, but the guy who played the best for you out of your depth options isn't available to you anymore. Yeah. Like, so you're gonna have a bunch of guys. Like, honestly, I don't know how they go over the next month alive. Like, I don't know how they do it with that decor. Like, it's just the teams that they're playing. That is a made up guy.
That's a real guy. Joe Higgins.
Who does he play for?
Joe Higgins,
the Ontario Reign.
Okay. Where do you
What made you bring up Joe Higgins?
Sorry, I haven't spoken in like 10 minutes. I just brought up Joe Higgins.
Dude, just jump in. You're more than welcome to join. We're doing a pod. Join the conversation.
No. I zoned out because I was looking through the roster trying to find a defenseman that we could get, and I found Joe Higgins. I thought that'd be funny.
By the way, Dennis Hildeby tonight had a 1 goal saved above expected. Good performance.
Who?
He was great. Yeah,
Dennis Hildeby, and last game had a 2 goals saved above expected.
The behind the back glove save was
great.
That scared me, dude. If he doesn't get that in the pocket and he knocks that into his own net, I'm losing my mind.
Dude, he has honestly been awesome. Like,
he's been fantastic.
You can't ask for more from your youngster. He's 15th in the league in goals saved above expected.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, by the way, just a quick update. Buffalo Stars up 1-0 on Vancouver right now. So that's another Atlantic team that, if the result holds, it's 2 points in the bank. So, but Florida goes down 2-1 just at the end of the first period here against Colorado. So we'll have to...
Sorry, are we done talking about the Leafs now? I have one name that I'd like to bring up.
Is it Leafs related or
Leafs
just
related?
Random? Yeah, go ahead, because I don't think we can do much more on the Leafs. I don't really know what else there is to talk about.
So, like, I think we all know Leafs' biggest issue, or not biggest issue, but I think a looming issue is the aging decor, and I think we are starting to see some of the results of that this year, possibly with Tanev out, although it is unlucky.
I don't know. Those are freak injuries, man.
They are freak injuries, but this is also Chris Tanev notoriously does not have the best quality body. Part of that is because of how he plays. We all know that. A name that I saw earlier pop up in my not feed, but I was on YouTube, and a name popped up that I forgot a little bit about, and his value is dwindling. His role is dwindling with this team. He's only 23. He's a left-handed defenseman. Guess. Do you need any more hints? Eastern Conference.
Shot. He's on the Leafs.
Conference.
No, not on the Leafs.
Oh no,
This is a guy that I think could potentially be a future Leafs trade target. He is on a bit of a big contract.
Keandre Miller? No, he just left to Carolina.
His role is kind of dwindling with this team, and
can you give us the division?
Values. It's Eastern Conference. If I give you the division, it might give it away, but Atlantic.
Is it the
Metro? It's an Atlantic team.
Atlantic.
He's 6'6", 226.
Left-hand shot, young, big 23. Guy.
He's from Mississauga, Ontario.
Really?
I don't have that. I'm blanking right now.
Hold on.
Oh shit, Owen Power.
I think this could be a guy that Buffalo potentially moves in the future. I don't know if the Leafs necessarily have the assets to make a move like that, but
I don't know if they do it anytime soon, though. That's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a move that happens soon, but
I wouldn't put it past the Sabres.
That would be a name that I think that would be a name that I would be very interested in if I was the Leafs. Because his value is kind of dwindling with that contract, and Buffalo's kind of misusing him. His role is diminishing. I could see a world where he gets moved in the relative future, and I think the Leafs should be all over that. I think
the problem is like if you're looking just like down the road. I know you're not saying it's not happening anytime soon, but just like looking down the road, like they need like immediate help, and I just don't see where that comes from. And that it's gonna be interesting to see how they get through this stretch of like tough games against tough opponents. It's like you're asking the team to go down 3 starting defensemen and then take out one of their depth guys, and it's just like I don't know what you do unless Villeneuve ends up playing really well, and like maybe that's just like another mainstay in the lineup once, and that like that's best case scenario. But like I don't know, you're playing the guy in the NHL at 23. Like we'll see.
I feel like part of the season for me with it being just so up and down is that like I feel like a glaring issue is that the Leafs definitely do need to get younger in a few ways. You can just tell, like, it's not like a guaranteed thing. Obviously, if you're young, you're going to be fast. Like, there's different molds of players and everything, but you can definitely see how they need some, I think, youth. They need some eagerness in the lineup. I feel like I feel like that's kind of missing a little bit. I don't know.
I just think it's the speed. But like I don't think they're not playing. Like they're playing hard. I think they're playing hard. I think they're just slow, so it makes them look a little bit sloppy sometimes because they're just getting outstated. And I think
they need some young legs in there. I think.
Yeah,
I think a guy like Villeneuve could really be a refresher if he comes up. But I don't.
They're trying They're trying with Cowan. They've given Robertson like pretty decent opportunity here this season. Like they've kind of had to with the way that Michelli has worked out. And I mean, who else are you gonna put in that lineup? And I don't think any of them have really, aside from Cowan. I've liked Cowan. I think he's been pretty good. But to
be fair, I think Robo's been good for the most part too. Just the scoring's fallen off a little bit. But I've liked the play, and I think he does provide something useful to the lineup most nights.
He does, and I like that he's. We've talked at length about his physical play so far this season, which was something that has been lacking greatly for him. I think there's a role for Robertson, but I mean, we can beat a dead horse over and over. It's just his finishing right now, but it's the whole team too. So
yeah, okay. I think we've kind of talked everything we need to talk about on the Leafs. I think there's really not much more to say. Like, injuries suck, and it's just one of those seasons. It feels like hopefully Hildeby just kind of keeps them in it, or if they're playing tight defensively right now, so I can't even say if they tighten up defensively.
Another one.
Hopefully hopefully they could just kind of get through this month, and maybe the news on Tanev is actually good, and they get him back within the next week or so. Like, I don't know, we'll see on that, but we're gonna move on to. Okay, I'm gonna hold. I want to talk about something first before we talk about the thing that's at the top of our outline for Leaf Talk. I'm going to hold that. There's a story out of Montreal right now. Jacob Fowler, the top goaltending prospect.
Goalie corner.
Goalie corner. Here we go. And it's a Habs goalie, so I'm not happy about it. But Jacob Fowler just called up, plays against Pittsburgh tonight for his first career start. Yeah. Interestingly enough, Carey Price and Patrick Roy both had their first career starts against Pittsburgh.
Ken Dryden did too.
Ken Dryden did. Okay, I was not aware of that. That's kind of crazy. Did you? Yeah. I don't know if you're able to pull stats on that. If you could,
let me find that.
Yeah, Price in his first career start. Oh, I see. You did the Fowler one.
Does that mean Jacob Fowler is gonna be the next Carey Price?
Dude, it's just weird. Price.
Holy shit!
First career start. 26 saves in a 3-2 win against Pittsburgh on October 10th, 2007. The same day, on 1985, Patrick Roy starts against Pittsburgh and stops 24 in a 5-3 win. Fowler today stopped 33 of 35 and 1-4-2. I don't know if you have the stats up for Dryden yet.
Dryden, March 14th, 1971, against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 5-1 win, stopping 35 of 36 shots.
It's
Crazy
a little bit weird. I thought it was a story. Weird. It's even more of a story. Like, when I put this one down, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I thought I'd talk about it. And now that the game has passed and he performed really well and the Habs won again, I think
you're never going to believe this.
I hate the Montreal Canadiens with everything in my body. I can't.
Yeah. You're never going to believe this. 1952, Jacques Plante made his first career start against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
You're lying, dude. What?
Obviously, I'm lying. The Penguins didn't exist in 1952.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No, dude, I had a brain malfunction. I thought you were gonna say the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know how they had that old hockey team. Like, I thought you were gonna say the Pittsburgh Pirates for a second. I would have lost it.
I would.
But Montreal get these guys, bro.
That's original six era, so it won't be.
Yeah.
I actually can't. At least Montreal get these guys, bro. We're rocking with like Anthony Stolarz, who was a career backup for like 10 years. Joseph Woll, who can't stay healthy. Dennis Hildeby's good, but then they just get like Jacob Fowler, who was like the best college hockey goaltender of the past like 2 years, and then
this is completely beside the point. But this is a long running issue with the Leafs in terms of scouting, drafting, development. Not even just goaltending. How many star players have the Leafs had that they drafted and developed over the past 60 years, including goalies? I mean, Felix Potvin is really the only one.
They traded for Sundin.
Sundin they traded for.
Wendell Clark, I guess, would be one of them.
Wendell Clark was developed. There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot of. No, but we're going back to like the 90s, the 80s. Like it's been a long time.
That's where you have to go back
if you're talking about past 20 years, that's a whole different story. Like, if we're ignoring the Matthews era, it's even the Matthews era. Outside of top 10 picks, dude. Outside of top 10 picks, the Leafs were not. Right. Even in top 10 picks, the Leafs were shit. But outside of top 10 picks,
they've gotten a little bit lucky with some late round guys that turned into NHL players, but not much of anything like Pierre Engvall,
Nyes. I think Nyes you could count. Like I think if we isolate the Matthews, Willie, Marner, like those three, I think, and you take them out of the conversation. Although they do deserve a little bit of credit on Mitch and on Willie. Because those aren't
they weren't
the
clear-cut picks there.
Sure. No, yeah.
But it's still
Willie
a top 10. It's like there's still top 10 picks that you should be hitting on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't give too much for that. And like Matthews was a slam dunk pick, obviously, and then next year, like after Matthews, they go pick Timothy Liljegren the next year. Like,
anyways, I've done a great job
the year after that.
At the Leafs.
I mean, Sandin was good. They moved off of him because they wanted to do right by the player.
Jacob Fowler.
Dude.
Jacob Fowler.
Imagine Rasmus Sandin on the Leafs right now, man.
Shut up. You guys hijack goalie corner. Can we... Enough.
Can we talk about like Arthur Acton?
No. Goalie corner. Hildeby, fantastic. Great game tonight. They were great. He was great. we were talking about him, but Fowler, I couldn't watch too much of that game. That game started at 7:30 and the Leafs started at 7, so anytime they were both like mirrored, so I couldn't really watch that much, but I did see one or a couple of really nice saves. One was like a point blank glove save he made on I can't remember who made it on. I think Sid made the pass out front, and just a really nice save there. A couple of nice rebound saves that I saw. So, I don't know. He was dominant at the World Juniors. He dominated in college hockey, like Seb already said. So, in Montreal, the position they're in with goalies in terms of Montembeault and Dolbish both struggling, if he comes out of nowhere, like Montreal has their next goalie, like that, they might be a threat in the playoffs once they get there.
Montreal, Kent Hughes, I'm so jealous that they have Kent Hughes as a general manager, dude. Like, their drafting has been ridiculous. Last year, they didn't have a first-round pick. They drafted Alexander Zarkovsky in the second round. He has 23 points in 26 KHL games at 18.
Yeah.
Are you
Which
sure
is also
KHL.
Oh my!
Which is also a notoriously low-scoring league. Like and for young
points.
Guys,
he's 18.
And young guys don't get chances, man.
He's
young
18.
Guys don't get chances.
They drafted him in the second round.
It feels like the Habs always have another prospect coming up that they've just been had stashed away. And
part of that's I think part of that's just like general Habs hype, but that's still like they're still ridiculous. Also, speaking of goalie corner, I have a name for you. Former Leafs draft pick. 7th round pick of 28.
Can I guess?
7th, yeah, if you want. 7th round pick.
2018?
Relatively 2018.
Goalie?
Alexei Kolosov.
Not a Leaf draft pick.
What is
18?
He's
okay, I don't know. I'm not
Quebec Major League.
Wait, I should know this.
I saw this name and I was like, holy shit, I remember this guy.
Ian Scott? No, never mind.
No, not Ian Scott, but that was the same year, I think. No, actually it wasn't. Sorry, the year before.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm not going to get it, but that's...
Zachary Beautillier.
Never mind. I don't know who the fuck that is.
You don't remember Zachary Beautillier?
I can't remember him either. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really? You guys don't remember
I can't remember, no.
You know who I remember?
Dude, that was a while ago. 7th round pick from 2018.
I remember. I don't know why I remember him, dude. Ian Scott, I remember too. He was great.
I remember Esa Tikkanen.
Did you say Esa Tikkanen?
Yeah, I remember him.
No, I said Ian Scott.
No, that's a Esa Tikkanen.
I said Ian Scott.
Who am I thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was.
No, Ian Scott, bro. I feel so bad for him.
That was a good prospect, and he had to retire.
Yeah, forced into retirement. That
you know who was picked
him and Cole were coming up at the same time.
Yeah, he had a good future, man.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
You know who was picked right after Ian Scott?
I don't want to know.
Oh, Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember that to this day. I will always remember that. Thank you, Lou. Or was
Emily
that
Rassinen?
No, that was 2017. Actually, sorry. So was that
still
genius? No, that was still Lou. That was still Lou.
That was still Lou.
Zach Beautillier was 2018. Ray was picked.
Okay, moving on from that. I just thought it was a cool story. There's not much substance there, but I do think if they actually did find the goalie, like dangerous. But
Pontus Holmberg's doing good, eh?
Dude, he has 3 goals. I've been
points in 24 games,
dude. No, listen to me right now. People on Twitter are like, the Leafs just let this guy go. I want the revisionist history on Pontus Holmberg to stop.
He was
the most useless player on the ice, dude. He was not good. It was a black hole. The puck hits his stick.
Okay.
He's like Kerfoot. Not good. Not good.
People are going nuts because he has 8 points in 24 games. I have 8 points scratching my fucking nuts in 20. I don't know where I was going with that. that's. What? I don't know what that means.
Like, dude, moving on. John Cooper's always like, the how strong he is on the puck. He the puck just sticks to him.
I think the only
who
good
cares? He doesn't score, man. He doesn't produce.
I think the only good. This is coming from, you guys know, biggest Pontus Holmberg supporter on the planet. I don't think there was a single bigger Pontus Holmberg fan than me. The only good thing he did was draw penalties occasionally.
Yeah, dude, that guy fell over all the time.
Yeah. That guy got crushed.
Darren Radish has 22 points in 25 games.
Dude. It's insane. It's nuts. I have no idea where he got that from. And moving on to Tampa, because I want he's had to take over power play 1 because of the injury. Hedman is back to the IR after missing a month, and I searched everywhere for what type of injury this guy has had, and it's just undisclosed.
Nobody knows.
This guy was out for a month, comes back against Montreal on Saturday, leaves the game in the first period. Yeah, he played. It leaves late in the first period, and he's gone again. They said he re-aggravated the injury. What's hurt? What did he hurt? He's gonna go back to the IR, and I don't know when we're gonna see him again.
I feel Tampa Bay divisional rival. Obviously, don't want to wish them too much success, but really hope it's not something detrimental to Hedman's career.
He's already 35.
He's 34. He's had a long career, a lot of games. He's played 1,100 games. Yeah, I really hope it's not something detrimental to his career. That would be a really shitty way for a guy like Victor Hedman to kind of go out.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper said that they hope that he'll rejoin the team on their road trip, but he also said there's a little bit of concern, and when you re-aggravate an injury, you never really know. Yeah,
dude, it's just it's tough when you get to these when you get to this kind of age as a player. You get older, and it's harder to come back from these injuries, especially if it's like a long-term thing. So hope for the best for him, even though he's on Tampa and fuck Tampa, but.
Yeah. Another injury. This time it's sorry, Jacob, do you have anything to add on that, or are you good on that?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Moving on. This time it's a younger player. Ryan Leonard out 3 to 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. Jacob Trouba ran him over behind the net, and I mean, people were complaining, it's a head hit. I thought it was a pretty clean check. I think for the he got all the body, and you come through your hit, and Leonard just was low to the ice when he went for the hit. And I thought it was pretty clean, and just a shoulder injury. And I mean, Trouba's doing Trouba things like that. That's part of the reason why you get him. He goes out there, and if you let him play his game, he will hurt people, man. That guy puts people into their grave, and that hit was crazy to watch. We'll see with Leonard. Leonard was one of the young pieces in Washington that they really love out over there. So I mean, we'll see.
He was having a good start.
How that goes.
Yeah. He's been having a good year. That's a shame. Sorry, Washington's so disgusting, dude. He should be in their top 6. He's getting 13 minutes a night, and he's still putting up a pretty good rookie year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
okay. Do you want to go into the main point on the Leaf talk here?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we can.
You guys got anything else?
I don't think so. I'm ready to talk about the big one here.
Okay. Just quickly, end of the first period. End of the first period, Vancouver tied it up on Buffalo. I know it's a little weird doing standings watch right now with how early we are in the season, but it is so tight that standings watching is mattering right now. I'm kind of waiting for people to pull away in the East, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, with just how it's going. So I mean, I'm gonna keep tracking these games here. But as we talked, but I think the big thing that we were planning on talking about it last pod, we kind of had a lot of issues at the end of our last pod, just in terms of, I think me and Seb both dropped out, and we had a bunch of other stuff going on, so we pushed it back.
You two dropped out.
I didn't drop
out.
Jacob,
no, you dropped out once, Seb.
Did I? Yeah, sorry, okay. I did, but that was at the beginning.
Yeah, all three of us had a little bit of issues last pod, so we pushed it this topic to today, because it's kind of an evergreen topic until something actually happens. But we want to talk about the Quinn Hughes trade, or Quinn Hughes potentially being traded. There's been a lot of just like whispers around it.
On that tonight, by the way.
About Did Washington. You actually? I didn't see. Okay, Washington. That's interesting.
Washington's interested. Yeah.
I just want to set it up a little bit here. After a win, I can't remember who they were playing. After a win, they asked him about the potentially being traded, because Elliot Friedman went on. It was Saturday night, the night that the Leafs lost to the Habs. I'm just trying to pull up who they're playing here, but Elliot Friedman came out saying that he doesn't think anything's coming anytime soon, but the talks picked up with not picked up, but they started discussing a trade with New Jersey a little bit. Just New Jersey called Vancouver just to see what's going on there. They lost or they beat Minnesota, so it was after a win against Minnesota. They asked him about it, and I think Elliot Friedman said that Quinn Hughes had an idea that it was coming around, just because he called and talked to so many people that eventually got back to Hughes. So I think he kind of figured that he'd have to answer it, but people were losing their mind because he said Fitzy as like a nickname for the Devils GM.
I was gonna say I heard that and I was like, that's not your boss. Why are you calling him nickname? And I know the hockey world's connected and everything, but you're calling.
I don't know.
It's just, you got to know the optics of that, like with Jack and Luke on the Devils, and like you're calling him Fitzy, like.
Yeah, I don't know. He said that the quote was like, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the quote in front of me, but he's like, if there was a call between him and Alvin or
Fitzy.
Yeah, if there was, I didn't jump on it. So he was just kind of saying like, I'm not really aware of. I know my name's in talks, but I wasn't really like involved with it at all. And I mean, all eyes are obviously pointed towards New Jersey with Jack and Luke playing for the Devils, and I think Jack said that at some point he'd love to play with Quinn in the offseason, and I mean, the more obvious point is that Quinn is then probably be traded here with Vancouver taking such a nosedive over these last couple of years. It just feels like any move that they've made hasn't really worked out for them at all. And they had such a strong team, and they just lost at 7 to Edmonton, the first cup run for Edmonton. And now there's just kind of like what's even left of this team. I think David Kampf is playing first line center right now because of all the injuries. And I mean, injuries are tough. We're seeing them with the what? Noted Leaf legend.
Leaf legend 0 point man David Kampf, as discussed yesterday. Last pod.
And so. I mean, like the thing is with the Leafs injuries, I think you looked at a lot of the injuries, and I think we did talk about how Tanev kind of has like a little bit of a rap sheet of having injuries, but for the most part, they're a little bit like freak injuries. They're not a lot of guys who are really known for getting hurt. Like OEL has been pretty durable throughout the last few years here. And I mean, Carlo has been durable. Some of the forwards that were out have been durable. So, Matthews picks up his injury every once in a while, but all these guys have been durable. I feel bad for the guys who are being injured in Vancouver, but I don't feel bad for the Canucks. When you trade for a guy like Filipino, you have to know that injury is coming eventually.
He had like 3 concussions before going to Vancouver, and then he picked up another one. Like,
that's
it's
a risky
big
issue.
And
that was. To your point, it's a risky player to make like the main piece in a move where you're trading away a 100-point player in
JT
Miller.
Yeah. I like Hedl, but
I mean, Hedel's good when he's playing, but he hasn't. When's the last time he played more than 30 games in a season?
It's messed up, dude.
It was a bad trade for me from the start. I didn't think that it made any sense, because I think even when Hedel's playing his best hockey, I think he's a good 2C. I don't think he's what they like. If they want to contend,
Miller, but
no, if they want to contend though, I didn't even think him healthy would have been enough for them to contend. I didn't think that he had enough there. And I know, listen, when you trade JT Miller, and you can say what you want about JT Miller with how he's handled a lot of stuff that happened in his career and what's going on right now in New York, but he is a skilled player. He did put up 100 points. You're not really going to win that trade based off like one player that you get back. So it was difficult, and they were in a weird position there, although I think the organization had a little bit to do with it. And I mean, they're in a spot where what other option do you have than to trade Quinn Hughes? And the worst part is you just signed Demko to a big extension. You just signed Langton to a big extension a couple of years ago, and Langton hasn't been good. And then you did I say Besser already? They signed Besser to a big extension this last offseason.
Massive extension.
And now you're looking at Garland. They traded Garland. I think you can move, so it's not a big deal. But Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, they traded for from Pittsburgh when they were in like a little bit of a weird like in between.
No, you're thinking of Marcus.
Marcus Pettersson. Marcus Pettersson. My bad. They have two Elias Petterssons and a Marcus Pettersson.
Elias Pettersson they drafted. They call him young. They call him Young Petey.
Yeah. So, but Marcus Pettersson, and I like Marcus Pettersson. I think he's a good player, but now you're in a spot where it's like what's the point in keeping these guys? And even with guys like
assets, right? Like,
yeah, I think I want to talk about the Hughes thing first, but now I'm kind of feeling like this is a little bit of like an over. We have time, like we haven't even reached the hour mark yet on our recording. I think there's a lot let's unpack after we just recorded. I think we could do a little bit of a deep dive on Vancouver here if you guys want to get into that.
I mean, last place in the league right now. It's worth doing.
It's tough, man, and I've been, like I said last pod, I've been watching tons of hockey, just like random teams playing, because like if I'm bored, I'll just flick it on, or if I'm unwinding for the night, I'll just put a game on and just watch. It's empty in Vancouver. They were playing against Detroit the other night, dude, and there might have been 15 people in the lower bowl. Like, it was empty. And that's a fan base that is not patient, man. And as much as like Toronto gets a lot of shit for how their fan base is and how the media is, Vancouver is the exact same thing over there, and they have very little patience with this team. And I mean, I'm looking at this daily faceoff right now, and I get there's injuries, but like another bad move was bringing in Evander Kane. I never really understood that. Like, you just took that contract, and
I mean, it's 1 year. It's just a season.
It's 1 year, but like they want to be good this year. I don't know what you thought Evander Kane was going to bring to the lineup when the Oilers didn't really use him all that much in the playoffs either, because I think his game's just gone. Like, he was a good player when the Oilers picked him up after being bought out in San Jose with some there's just some issues there that they eventually terminated his contract. But
I guess that's another guy with just a lot of miles.
Yep.
Yeah.
He plays a hard game, man.
Yeah. And he didn't play. I don't know if you guys remember. He didn't play a single game last season in the regular season. He
came back for playoffs and that was it.
Yeah, so maybe Vancouver was thinking, 1 year, we've got the cap space, we're just gonna a 4th round pick in hindsight is kind of a lot to pay. It's not a lot, but you know what I mean. Like, that could have been a 5th. For a guy that played 0 regular season games, put up 12 points in 20 playoff games, and like you said, Edmonton wasn't really using him when they could have been. I mean, Zach Hyman wasn't playing for the Cup final, and they still weren't really using him. Anyways, this is way too much to say about Evander Kane, but
but do you guys want to go through, like, I just feel like I want to go through their roster right now and just see who you keep and who you trade, because I think we're getting to the point where they kind of need a fire sale. Like, I don't see any other option. But
I don't think there is a guy on this team that you should necessarily like. I think you keep your really young guys, like keep your Pettersson, keep Lekkerimäki, keep that kind of
Elias
player.
Pettersson,
keep your Tom Willinder.
Which Pettersson?
Like young, like the defensive young PD.
Okay.
DPD.
I feel bad saying this right now.
Why do they say Elias Pettersson as if that could clarify things? These fucking guys.
No,
I
kind
of that guy.
Yeah. Keep DPD. Keep DPD. Keep Tom Willinder. Keep Adurati. Keep your really young guys. I think everyone else that you can move, look at moving.
I feel bad talking about this right now because
they should be keeping Hughes too. Sorry, but
yeah. EP40 is having a tough time personally, I think. So it's kind of tough talking about it right now. But he's been in trade talks for the last year. I think Carolina. Carolina wants him, and I think that's he's such a Carolina player that I think he would actually fit there. But I like if you move, you can move off. If you move off Hedl, I think you do it. He's on the IR right now with an undisclosed injury. That was back in October. I don't know if there's been another update from that. November 16th he started skating, but nothing. So I don't even know what the value on Hedl would even be if you were to move him. Because, like, this guy, like, he might be one head injury away from he. Honestly,
retiring.
He should have already
Andre,
been. Yeah,
it's Andre Kasha all over again.
Yeah, good player, does everything you need, but if you're risking your life being out there right now, because like if that another hit to that dude, the brain, you don't mess around with the brain. Like hockey players will play through anything. Bergeron played through collapsed lung. The second you touch the brain, then like you can't, dude. It's not.
You can't fix
your
that.
neck and your brain. You cannot mess around with. And so I'm looking at this right now, and it's like Pettersson. You move. He has value there still. Granted, it's extremely decreased from what it would have been at his peak, but like you kind of have to move him.
You know what though?
He's got the full move, so he's got total control over that.
I know points wise, he's not. I don't know if he's ever going to be the 100-point guy he was again. At least not in Vancouver. But I know defensively he's been really strong this year. I think there could be some value to it.
I know, dude, but when you pay him that much, it's like Matthews to a lesser extent. When you get paid that much money, you have to do more than just play defense.
He's making a lot of money. I'm just saying, I think a team could see the value in that player.
No, I agree, and I think just name brand alone and kind of like what he's done in the league before, I think you still get a decent package for him. I don't think it'll blow anyone's doors off. Like you're not going to get crazy, but it'll be nice.
Although he's been awesome in Vancouver, they need to sell high on Kiefer Sherwood.
I was going to get there. Hold on. We're just on the forecourt. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead, Seb.
No, I was just going to say, like, even though I think his pace has kind of fallen off this year a little bit,
he scored again tonight.
He's got value in the NHL right now. Like,
there's a team
there's a team that's going to pay like a Blake Coleman type of price for him.
Dude, someone's going to pay ridiculous amounts of money or ridiculous amount of picks for that guy at the deadline. At the deadline, he will be the top trade chip on the deadline unless something crazy around the league happens where another team falls off and someone becomes available, but he's going to be there.
That's going to be like the Blake Coleman trade to Tampa, where Tampa paid a first and at the time, Nolan Foote was a recent first-round pick as well. They basically paid 2 first-round picks for Blake Coleman, and everybody was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, this is the third line, whatever. Yeah, they won the cup, and he was amazing for Tampa. But it's the same type of deal where I think it's to a lesser extent. Blake Coleman's made a very good career for himself. I don't know if Kiefer Sherwood is this type of player, although he was great last year. There's a lot of shooting percentage things going on there.
PDO bender stuff.
But that's a guy that you need to sell high on. I think they just need to commit, and it sucks because this fan base has been through this like a couple times now, but I think they need to really commit to just like a proper teardown, and I think that includes, I don't know if this should include management or not. Alvin's been there for a few years now, and it just feels like some of the moves he's made are good, but I don't see. It feels like it's not really his fault. I feel like it's management's
fault, man.
I'm saying I feel like he got hired into a situation that was already very fractured. Yeah, I think that room's been fractured for years, and I think he got hired into a pretty shitty situation that is very hard for any.
I just remember that situation there. They traded. Sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
No. Finish your thought. I'll add on at the end.
I was just gonna say they traded Horvat and then traded for Marcus Pettersson. I think in the same night or like within like 2 days of each other.
Miller. Or might have been Miller.
Was it Miller?
They traded Horvat. They moved Horvat a couple of years ago now.
Oh, that's right. I didn't mean I was thinking I meant Miller. I was thinking of Horvat because I remember how fractured the room was with Horvat because it was originally Horvat and Miller who had problems with each other, and then it ended up being Miller and Pettersson. But I think the organization kind of fucked that relationship in and of itself because I remember the reports coming out that from Elliot Freeman that they management told Miller like, hey, get on this guy because he doesn't really put in all the work that he needs to, and then he got on him, and then Pettersson's like has a problem with him, and I'm like, okay, well that kind of sounds like a self-inflicted wound from the front office. Because if you're gonna tell him to go in there and be like that, then why are you gonna complain to the guy that he's being a dick when you asked him to be a dick?
Also, this might be a hot take. I don't think Quinn Hughes was the pick for captain.
He's quiet, man.
Not even that he's quiet. It doesn't seem like he's ever been. And you could say the same about a few other players in the league, but I've never seen him be that enthusiastic about being a Canuck. I've never gotten really that vibe that he wants to be in Vancouver. And now the second things are starting to really go south, it's like, yeah, I want out. And maybe he deserves that right. But I don't know. I this might be a hot take. I don't know if he was the choice to be your designated like leader, because your captain doesn't always need to be your best player. That is, we know, like we all know this. It doesn't always need to. Fucking Kyle Okposo was the Sabres captain for a couple years there. Like,
sure
it doesn't need to be. Like it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to be your best player. I don't think he was the pick. I think there might have been other guys that they
just on your point there. I think that's just kind of his personality. I don't think you'll see him pretty enthusiastic anywhere he goes. I said he was quiet. I think that doesn't really matter all that much. Sometimes like guys like Matt Sundin were quiet, as we know, in Toronto, and he was still a great leader. It's just like you lead by example. The problem is that here, who would you have given it to though? Maybe you don't know captain, but Elias Pettersson, they've had captain. Issues with him not practicing, like just not
definitely not
work.
PD.
It's funny
I think a guy.
I'm thinking like, was the best option not Bo Horvat?
I was gonna say, he was the captain.
Exactly. Yeah. You didn't need. I don't think they. I guess like this is a really.
I don't know, but the Bo Horvat situation was tough. He was having like a season he was never gonna have again, and the team wasn't that great. But I guess this is another situation where you can look at like, was that a mistake by management to not just keep a guy that was kind of integral to your locker room? And dude, he was having like a 50-goal pace season. It was insane. It was, I think, 31 goals in 49 games.
He was having a crazy year. I remember it. I think
like they sold really high on him. He's never gotten back to that mark and probably never will. And that's not a slight on him. He's a good player, but
yeah. And I wonder if Horvat and Miller were having problems. Maybe that then was the time to trade JT Miller. You know?
Yeah, they might have just picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, it's tough.
But
I think Bo Horvat was the pick, and trading him left a big void. The only other guy I could think of is probably like a Brock Besser. But
Best, I
think it's also
that much of a leader.
I think it's also
Besser looked like he was gonna leave.
Yeah, I think it's also reasonable though to say that like maybe they just don't have a guy that's a good fit to be a captain.
Yeah,
maybe they don't have that leadership kind of guy. I don't know.
I'm looking at this roster and it's like, who do you really like? Okay, so we said Sherwood. You're kind of stuck with Kane. I don't think you're gonna move him anywhere. Jake DeBrusk, they signed to a pretty decent deal like a couple of years ago. And he's been on the third line.
He's in like year 2 of 5, I think.
And he's on the third line of a depleted lineup. And I know sometimes that doesn't really matter just by looking at a daily face-off. It's more about like how you deploy him. But I don't think he's been lighting it up this year. Yeah, he has 8 goals and 5 assists in 13 games, and he's making 5.5. Like I don't know. Like, what do you do with that? I don't know if anyone would really take. I think someone would take DeBrusk. I think he has a reputation of trying to be a little bit of a son of a bitch to play against sometimes. And I think
he had a good year last year.
He did.
He's one year removed from a near 30-goal season. Like,
yeah,
I could see somebody maybe moving on that. And like 5.5, I think now is pretty fair for like a middle six guy.
Yeah, he's a playoff style player.
I think another one, Garland. Yeah.
I can see
the Leafs should get him just so he can't hurt us if he goes into the Eastern Conference team. Yeah.
Garland.
The other guy that I think you can move. I was just want to say Garland.
Yeah.
And I think you can move off of him.
Garland might be tough though, because he just signed that extension.
Yeah, but dude,
he has no
trade
protection
just
right now.
Tear it down, man.
No trade protection, but he's signed to like $6 million for
$6 million till 2032, and he's already 29 years old. But he is a versatile player.
There's so much of this core locked up.
He's a consistent player too.
The other kind of conversation you have to have when you're talking about a team selling is like, you don't want to be a Buffalo where you tear down to the studs, because then you kind of are left with nothing. And if you don't like you kind of want to be more of a lead. Like, listen, jokes aside about the Leafs, like with the playoff performances, their rebuild was successful. You got a competitive team for over a decade, but they had guys like Lupul going through. Well, not Lupul left like the second that everyone else showed up, but you had like decent players on that team leading into the next era. Which you had Bozak, you had JVR, you had Kadri, you had like
Kessel.
good Bo was on the back end.
Yeah,
you had
Gardner.
you had
Never mind.
well Kessel, yeah.
Can we just start listing
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
Leafs?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but like you had good guys, so I don't know how much you want to tear down. Like, but the other thing is, when I look at this team, I'm like, who's worth keeping around? Like guys like Bozak and JVR and Kadri were worth keeping around because their ages still fit the timeline of a team coming up and going to compete. I looked at this team and I'm like, I don't know, like who's worth keeping. You don't want to keep Pettersson because if you're gonna have a rebuild, you need assets, and I think Pettersson would be one of those guys that gets you your assets.
I think.
Hito, is it worth
counterpoint
it?
to
I don't
this.
know.
Counterpoint to this, and this is, they have their own first round pick this year.
Yeah.
Gavin McKenna.
You get Gavin McKenna, you get anyone, you get a top 3 pick. They could turn this around real fast.
The problem is, though, I don't
Look
know
at
if
the
Gavin
Isles.
McKenna. I think, yeah, okay, but the thing is with this Vancouver team, there is so much going on inside that room that even if you bring in the Gavin McKenna, what does that do? And honestly, it might hurt Gavin McKenna because you have to walk into that dressing room where everyone hates each other. Like, I don't know.
That's true.
I think they gotta. I think for a rebuild like this, if Vancouver's gonna do it, I think you kind of have to ignore ages where like, oh, this guy's 25, 26. Maybe we should keep him around because that will age well with our core. Because there is very clearly a cultural issue with this team. It's like no matter how good they can construct this roster, because like even last year they had a pretty good team on paper and they still struggled heavily. It's like no matter what they do, there's nothing that can really fix what's going on, and they need like a big culture reset, kind of like what the Leafs had in the mid 2010s. Like you need, I think a lot of it's ownership too. Francisco
100%.
Aquilini's
Aquilini.
not a good owner. I'm pretty sure, is heavily involved with a lot of day-to-day stuff with that team. And
He's all
those are
over
just
it.
the worst owners you can possibly have. They don't even have
There's
a
a-
practice rink, dude.
There's a
Like,
couple teams in this league
it's
with
bad.
I think not necessarily just unfortunate ownership that has plagued a couple teams for
Buffalo.
a long time
Dude,
now. Buffalo,
like
chief
you're,
among them.
dude. They are like, I'm pretty sure they're like the only team in the NHL that don't have a practice facility.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous. It's 2025 and you're an NHL team that's worth billions of dollars. Build a
Aquilini, I'm
fucking
pretty sure, is in
practice
real
facility.
estate too. Like I think
that's the
he's
funny
rich
part
because of
about
real
it.
estate. Yeah.
It's not. It can't be this hard. Dude, it doesn't have to be in Vancouver. Look at the Leafs practice facility. It's in Etobicoke. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to. It doesn't have to be like whatever. Build your.
It's
worth
not rocket
billions.
science. You rather
Build
build
a
one or you
fucking
don't.
practice
And they've
facility.
chosen not.
Dude, the
This is-
Vancouver
this is part of
PWHL
it,
team
you
who
know?
just came in, the PWHL team, the Vancouver Golden Knights, has a practice arena. It's their first year in the
exactly my point.
PWHL.
That's exactly my point.
The
You rather have one or you
PWHL
don't.
too.
You
Like,
rather
dude.
choose to build one or you choose not to build one. They've chosen not to build one, which I think is a crazy decision.
And not that this is like crazy and gonna affect the performance, but I think it's part of the ownership
people in,
issue
man.
that starts to kind of trickle down to the rest of the team and just creates this really toxic culture.
The other thing is, who wants to?
It could affect the performance though, because I mean, how long can you stay in a place and be excited to be there if they don't take care of you? You know what I mean? Like that's. I mean, we've all worked jobs before, and that I'm sure you've been undervalued at. Like I mean, and then you see all these players in Vancouver. They go, well, what about all my friends on the other teams that have beautiful practice facilities? Like,
Like
name 31 other teams. You know,
it's such a shame. Like Vancouver should be such a
Vancouver's
good
electric when they're good.
dude. It should be
yeah.
a destination place to play in the league.
they're one of my favorite playoff teams
And-
to watch. Both times they went on runs in the
It's
past.
brutal. It's just
30
brutal,
years.
man. That team's so like. I think a lot of it. I think a lot of their issues stem from ownership. At the end of the day, Aquilini's not a good owner, and they're kind of just stuck.
I'm just at the point where I'm still looking at like who you would move. Like I don't know who you keep around. Like I guess you keep around Tyler Myers. That's a vet who's been in Vancouver for a while. Do you keep Philip Peronic? I guess you kind of do, right?
He also
think you
got
do.
signed to a massive extension, but I think
You
if,
need someone to play for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a valuable guy too.
I guess you
right-hand
keep-
shot locked
Fuck.
up.
Do you keep
Yeah.
like Pedersen?
Like EP40
Jesus
or Marcus?
Christ, sorry.
Yeah,
Marcus,
sorry. No, yeah.
No, that's my bad. I
think you keep. I think you keep Marcus. I think, like Jacob said, you need someone to play for you. And I don't think they have anyone coming up that's like crazy young that could play on your blue line. That were you given the opportunity?
It's like
Tom Molina's been playing all year.
But that's what I'm saying. But I don't think you have anyone else.
You know what? They have Victor Mancini, who is not like highly touted by any means, but he is a pretty decent prospect that a lot of people rave about.
But
that
I think
it's pretty solid.
It's a common issue you see among rebuilding teams where they don't really have many defensemen. Look at, I mean, before this year, Montreal, San Jose this year, Chicago. So I mean, maybe I think if you don't get any crazy offers on Roenick, you hold on to him. Probably keep Pettersson. I think you keep Elias Pettersson defense as well. Just echoing your guys' point, like I'd move off EP40.
I think the two big names the two big names would have to be EP40, and then I think if Quinn Hughes isn't going to be committed to this, he's got to go.
I mean,
this is under the assumption that they're going to do a rebuild, and I think I'm not saying Quinn Hughes is in the wrong for this. He has put so much into that team in terms of his performance. He's won a Norris Trophy, could have won multiple, to be honest. He's done everything he's been asked to. I think he's at the point in his career too where, like, if Vancouver's not looking like they're gonna figure their shit out, he has every right to say, like, get me out of here. But if I'm Vancouver, I don't want guys who don't want to be on my team. And I know that's difficult if you're going to rebuild, but if you're going to be good in the future, you can't have those. You can't have that kind of second thought on your roster. So send them off to Washington or New Jersey, wherever the fuck he wants to go. I don't know. Maybe send them to Toronto for free.
Well, I was gonna talk now I want to move on to I was gonna talk about where actually like he could land, but the other thing I want to I don't know how they do this deal mid-season. I don't think you can.
It's brutal.
I'm looking at the teams who would want him, and I guess it would be every team in the league. But like he has no trade protection as well, so like he could just be moved wherever he wants or wherever Vancouver wants. They could kind of just say like you're just going here and that's the end of it. But like I don't know who has a cap space to take him on. And I don't know what money you move out. In New Jersey, I'm going to look up their puckpedia. I actually should have done this earlier.
This New Jersey shit is like Dougie Hamilton for sure is gone if they go get him, which he might already be gone because of Luke Hughes and that massive extension.
Holy Christ, I forgot about that. Luke Hughes actively makes $9 million?
Oh, yeah. He makes $9 million.
Yeah. He's not that good, is he?
No, they're paying for the future for that, but he's had a really bad season, to be honest.
That's a tough bet.
Anyway, they currently have just under $2 million in cap. The projected cap space is they're $5 million over the cap. So I mean, you're gonna have to. I've seen people talk about, you're gonna have to move. Maybe like Nemec would be one of the guys that goes back the other way.
Probably, yeah.
If they're bringing over Quinn, then Luke isn't going back the other way. Like they're gonna keep all three of them. Then you're kind of, that's the whole point of this a little bit, right? I mean,
probably have to be Nemec. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you move off of? Like, I don't think Mercer made like. I don't think Vancouver's gonna take Dougie Hamilton as the cap move in that deal. Maybe like no. Dude, the Devils don't really have like bad money either, though. That's the other thing. Like I could see Mercer, maybe like an Andre Palat gets moved if he was to waive his no move.
Well, there's some bad money right there.
I also saw some rumblings about Nico Hischier.
I was just about to bring him up on TransferTV. He has a modified no trade clause, so I'm assuming that Vancouver would be on it.
He'd probably
the Devils have no bad money.
Yeah.
Andre 5 points in 31 games, making $6 million. Palat.
He's like the only. He's like him and like Kovacevic are like the only guys that I think are real like kind of bad money. Or Palat's really bad money. But
God, Kovacevic.
It's a 10 team. It's a 10-team no trade list, and you know what they say about no trade lists? It's usually Canada, Buffalo, and for some people California, just because of the taxes there. So I'm assuming
I don't know.
it's
like
I'm assuming it's Toronto or Canada. Sorry.
That would be if New Jersey. Let's just say hypothetically he's not on, like Vancouver's not on his no trade list, or he waives it to go to Vancouver. That would be ruthless from New Jersey.
I would do it though. You're telling me you wouldn't take Quinn Hughes in exchange for Nico Hischier?
I don't think that's a good deal for Vancouver.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Vancouver. I think you need Hischier and Nemec.
Oh no! You need more. I'm just saying Nico Hischier would probably be a part of that deal.
That's a good piece, and I'm not downplaying Nico Hischier as a player, because I think Hischier is an elite player, and I love Nico Hischier.
That leaves such a big hole on your squad, dude.
Well, that's why I'm saying I don't think this is a deal that happens this year. Like, I think the problem is that I don't know how you get it done midseason, because if you trade Hischier, there goes your first line center.
Dude,
so like
it's Jack Hughes, Dawson Mercer, like Paul Cotter.
Sorry, second line center. They don't have the depth up the middle to really. I mean, no one does. If you trade your second line center, then majority of teams are going to struggle to keep up with that. Like I mean, especially for a guy like Hischier, who scored 35 goals last year for this team. I don't see, and I mean he has 26 points in 31 games this year too. He's been very good. So
he's a good player.
I know he's been hot recently, but.
Washington was the team that really surprised me. I saw that earlier. It's I don't know where, because they just signed Chikrin.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, Carlson's coming off the books, but Carlson shoots right.
I mean, they're in a weird spot, Washington, because you're in a position right now where you're kind of transitioning from your old like core into a new core, but you're still competitive, right? And I think that's kind of like the dream for every single NHL team when you come out of a core of a team that won a cup or was competitive for a long time. That you have these young players coming up like Ryan Leonard, as we talked about earlier, who are bringing this team to the playoffs and playing really good hockey. So I mean, I don't know where I don't know who you would move from Washington. I'm not familiar with the system.
The Caps are so well managed. Like, I'm just looking at their roster. Like, Alex Ovechkin makes the most at 9.5. But besides that, like, Dubois 8.5, Wilson 6.5, Strome, what a deal that is. The Alexei Protas deal is also ridiculous. That guy's making $3.3 million.
How about Thompson's deal? That's great.
Logan Thompson, he's making 5.5. Charlie Lindgren's making 3. Like, everything's just so well balanced. Like, this is such a good team.
In terms of possible teams, just spitballing here. What do you guys think of Chicago? They've got the cap space to do it, so money's not an issue there. They've got assets.
You'd have to move off Levchinov.
They want to move off of a lot of their forward prospects. Not necessarily. I mean, they've got
like that.
I guess I doubt they'll want to move off Anton Frondel. But they also
I just don't know if you. I think you have to move off one of your top prospects to get him. Like, I think you're looking at Levchinov, you're looking at Nazar. Those are the guys you're going to be looking at if you want to.
I think it'd have to be Levchinov, because that, like, Korchinski's not. I don't think Korchinski has that kind of value anymore. He's kind of dwindled a little bit. So it'd have to be Levchinov and something else probably.
Well, it could be Frondel.
I mean, Levchinov alone gets it done. Like, probably more.
Frondel, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're Vancouver in that situation, you're kind of just looking at what you want your future to look like. If you go for Frondel, then you're kind of committing to a longer term rebuild than if you were to go with Nazar or like those guys who are already playing on the active roster. Then you're kind of just trying to like speed it along and see if you could tank this year, get a high pick, and if that guy could be an impact player for you off the bat. And in that situation, then you're probably looking at keeping a lot of your roster, because if you're trying to turn it around in one season, I don't know why you wouldn't go out selling your parts that you think are valuable to this team.
Here's an interesting one. A team that could, every team in the league could use Quinn Hughes, but a team that I think could really benefit from having Quinn Hughes, Detroit Red Wings. They've got a lot of young players that Vancouver may see as valuable. Axel Sandin-Pellikka, Simon Edvinsson, Nate Danielson, Marco Kasper.
I could really see the Flyers being in on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Flyers have the assets. The Flyers.
It would be Michkov.
Really
I think.
Big,
You know what's gonna be awful,
I would
man?
do that immediately if I was.
If you were Philly, yeah, I would do it too.
I would do it. I mean, like, they've got Martone coming up. They've got guys. I think Michkov doesn't really fit the identity of what the Flyers want to be.
Yeah, and I think Michkov in Vancouver would be an absolute disaster because I don't think that guy has the maturity, and I think if you put a guy who's immature into that locker room, then you're asking for trouble, and that guy is not going to end up being what you think he will. You know.
And like the Flyers just don't really have that defensive guy coming up. Like, they really don't have anybody like that.
Respect to Igor's.
Their blue line's very average.
Igor's. No, but yeah, they drafted Martone this year. They haven't really drafted D. Their best guy is Travis Sanheim. Their best defensive prospect is like Oliver Bonk.
Yeah,
that's really it. I think they could really benefit from a guy like Quinn Hughes. But to Jacob's point, every team could benefit. But I think they do have a glaring need for that star defenseman, and they don't have that in their system.
What do you think of the Rangers?
They're pretty good this year. Rangers.
I mean, that's
I don't know. I think Adam Fox complicates things because they already have that top guy. It might be tough to pay two defensemen that kind of money.
I mean, if you're gonna pay that type of money to any position, I'd rather be at D-core. You know, like I think we had that in Toronto where we kind of threw all the money at the forward core, and our D-core was lacking for the whole time the core four was here, and I think that's just kind of the position you put yourself in, right?
Yeah. I think we're ignoring the main point here. What do we got to do to get Quinn Hughes to Toronto?
Dude,
nice.
I was just about to say, I was talking to one of my buddies, and he was like, "Oh, like, do you think we're gonna go after Quinn Hughes?" I'm like, I mean, I don't know how we can. Like, I don't think we have the assets to. No first in the next 2 years. And if we end up tanking because like with these injuries, like if you end up getting the top 5 pick this year, then Boston takes the next one, and then Philly takes the one after that. Or I think Boston has a choice between taking that pick or leapfrogging over Philly to take the pick after that. But either way, you're not going to have a first round pick for the next 2 years, potentially 3. And your best prospects aren't good enough to get it done when you compare it to like New Jersey. Like Cowan and Danford are not going to be as good as Nemec and Mercer if you're to do that. And then I was looking at, so I'm like, okay, you're probably going Cowan, Danford. You might have to throw in one of the goalies. Like you might have to do Hildeby if he ends up playing. Like if you move him now, and then you're gonna have to look at Nyes because I think. I don't even know if Vancouver says yes, because I still don't think it's like as good of a package as New Jersey would give you or something like that.
That's one of those moves where it's like that's like a franchise mode deal where you're just throwing in a bunch of shit on your side to try and get the bar even.
And then the other thing about that, like, okay, great, you have Quinn Hughes, and I'm not, obviously he's unbelievable, best like top 2 defenseman in the NHL. We'd say like Kel McCarr is probably the only name that's ahead of him. Yeah. But like
even that's like sometimes interchangeable depending on the year.
Yeah, but the problem is I go with that. It's like if you move off Nyes, that forward core is very, very, very Nyes and Cowan. It's so shallow that I don't even know if I'd want to do the deal, because then you're kind of just doing what we did before, where you have loaded up on the D core, but you have no forward. So it's just opposite. Yeah. And the other thing is our D core is so old that like. Okay, you bring in Quinn Hughes. Majority of those guys are going to be gone soon. Like that, like you're kind of just setting yourself up for a really tough position. So I don't even think Toronto would even entertain it.
This is why I'm saying the Leafs need to get younger, because those guys on the defense, they're going to get older. They're going to decline inevitably. Yeah. Time catches up to everybody, and they don't have like anybody to come up besides Danford.
Danford would be the only one.
You have a couple. You have like, dude, you have like a couple guys on your AHL team that might be decent, but like, they don't have any surefire young guys that can really come up and like kind of replenish that decor. This is why I'm saying they really need to get younger. Like, I think if they're going to be really injured this year, I would look at moving some of your 1-year contracts and seeing if you can just recoup something. I love Lawton. It's just
Me too.
Yeah.
But like, who else are you gonna move? You know, I'd love to bring him back.
Maybe you look at like a Domi deal because that fit's been questionable at times.
Yeah, but it's also like what's the value for Domi around the league? That's the other thing. Like, you don't like that's been the whole thing this whole time. It's like, what do you move? Well,
yeah.
I think
maybe you look at like a Nick Waugh move. I think you could get something good for Nick Waugh.
You think Minnesota tries for Quinn Hughes? They have the prospects to do it. If you were to move Bouillon, like, why wouldn't you, why? And like, there's a fit there. I think they have so many young defensive prospects. Why don't you just move those guys and something else and try to bring in Hughes?
Would the money work though? Because they have a lot of money. I'm about to look that up right now. Like, they got Spurgeon locked up, they got Faber locked up.
Well, I think money would have to go back. Money's gonna have to go back the other way in every single deal they try to make, because you don't move a guy with this high of a salary cap.
I'm just saying, like, specifically on their defense, they've got a lot of money tied up.
They have right now.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Jacob, they have just under $4 million cap right now, and then the projected is just over $2.5 million. So they're not like, it's not the worst position you could be in if you're trying to fit someone like Quinn Hughes in.
I was gonna say, if you get Vancouver to take the last 3 years, this year and the next 2 years of Jonas Brodin's $6 million deal, you can probably get it done money-wise pretty easily.
What if you were to do someone like Bouillon and Rossi? Because I don't even know if Minnesota loves Rossi all that much. And then, I mean, you'd have to do more, obviously. But like, if that was like the base of the deal, Rossi and Bouillon, like Faber, would you move off Faber? Because you're getting Quinn Hughes.
Probably, but at the same time, it's like
you could throw David Jiricek in there if you really,
I feel like
really want to.
Well, I don't think I wonder if anyone values. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I just feel like Minnesota has too much money tied up in that decor for that to be justifiable. Like, and I don't think Vancouver's gonna really want, if you're trading Quinn Hughes, they're probably committing to a rebuild. I don't think a guy like Jonas Brodin or Jared Spurgeon are going to be very valuable to your rebuild to where Vancouver's going to want to take that on. It'd have to be a guy like Faber, and at that point, I don't know if Minnesota does that, because then on top of Faber, you're probably giving up, like Mateo said, a Bouillon. You're probably giving up Rossi, or maybe you're giving up like Gustafsson, something like that, even though Vancouver probably doesn't need a goalie. But
Faber has
almost becomes
the last
like
2 years.
It almost feels like it's becoming like a lateral move at that point. But
I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just tough to find fits when a team is trying to move a player like this. You know, like
I like my Philly pick.
I like Philly too, especially with the Rick Tocchet thing there.
I think Philly's going to be a dark horse.
Yeah, I like that, especially with the Rick Tocchet connection. I think Quinn Hughes, it was reported Quinn Hughes loved Tocchet, and I guess he was probably not. I think he was a little bit unhappy with them moving off of him. But
you know what, though, to be fair, I think that was Tocchett's decision. It wasn't Vancouver. I'm pretty sure Tocchett's the one who just quit.
Yeah. You're right, he did. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I think Philly is probably the best option. I don't really know. It's so hard during the season to make a trade like this, like we said, because everyone's salary cap, no one's going to have $8 million worth of salary cap just laying around to make a deal where you don't have to move that much money off of the books. Like, everyone is going to, for the most part, everyone is right up against it. And I don't know if you look at a team like maybe Anaheim, but I don't even know if Vancouver would want to trade within the division, right? Like, that's the other problem. Like,
it's Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, no.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if you want to do that. Because they have $11 million in cap space, so they wouldn't really have to move any money out. But I don't think you traded him within the division, because even if you go your rebuild, that guy's gonna be burning you, even when you're like a contending team. And I mean, they would. Utah could, but like, I don't know, who do you move off of Utah though? That's my problem. I don't know.
They just got Sergachev. I feel like, yeah.
I mean, if you move off of, if you're going to Utah, you're probably looking at a guy like Gunther, right? Like, that's who you want.
Yeah, TJ Gidla.
Dude, this trade is fucked.
The problem is, it's like, it doesn't matter how much you add. There's an argument it's not enough because of how good this guy is and the premium position he plays. Like, I don't know how you go about doing it, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of interesting. Do you guys want to talk about anything else, or do you want to wrap it here?
I'm good to wrap. I got work tomorrow, man.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Thank you for the listening tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed. From here on out, I think we're going to try to keep it pretty consistent with you guys. I know we said that last time, but we are. I think our schedules look like it's going to open up a little bit more. My school semester should be later next semester, so we should be able to make some time to get it done. So from here on out, we're going to continue posting on YouTube. I think I'm going to try to get our socials going a little bit more again. Like, we used to post clips pretty often. I'm going to try to get that going from here on out. And then I'm also going to be trying. I don't know if it's going to work yet. I guess we'll have to see. I'm going to try to start posting our pod on my Substack as well. It's my handle is M Giuliano Sports. So you guys can find me on Substack there. I'm going to start posting on Substack a little bit. I have a pretty big plan for a piece on the Leafs, so I'm going to see if I can get that going. It's going to be a lot of work, so I can't really give a timeline on when that'll be done, but I'm going to try to get it out there for you guys if you're interested in reading that. It'll be on the Power Play. I'll give it that. We'll see if I can get it done. It's just going to be a lot of work for me to try to get all the prep done for it and get it out there, so we'll see.
Do you have a link tree or something?
I don't. I should make one. If I make,
I was gonna say I'll throw that in the description.
Okay, yeah, I'll make one. So I don't know if it'll be in the description for this pod, but I think,
or at least just send me the Substack link if anything for now.
Okay, yeah. So Seb will put that in the description there, so you guys should check it out there. But yeah, I'm writing for a website called Over the Line Sports right now. We're moving over to Substack. I just wrote an article for them on who my 3 Olympic picks are for the goalies for Team Canada. I think we're going to start talking a little bit more about the Olympics as we get closer to the day.
Yeah, true. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, because that's right around the corner. But yeah, just some housekeeping things there. You guys can find us on TikTok and Instagram. I know it's been a bit, but we are, like I said, going to try to get this going a little bit more again. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for listening. Our last pod is up. I think it went out last night at the time we're recording this. So you guys go check that out. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. The Leafs unfortunately drop their last game 3-2 to the San Jose Sharks in overtime. But Oilers on Saturday. Then we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday then. We'll have to check that out. But we'll see. Maybe. I think that's the plan. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a good night.
Goodbye.